Watch and learn step by step, page by page. Join Andres in this coding spree. Serverless magic for all to see. Momento, topics, and AWS. Together we'll create, no need to stress. With Amplify, we'll set the stage. No need for servers, break the cage. Scaling up high, it's all the rage. Watch and learn step by step, page by page. Join Andres in this coding spree. Serverless magic for all to see. Momento, topics, and AWS. Together we'll create, no need to stress. Amplify, we'll set the stage. No need for servers, break the cage. Scaling up high, it's all the rage. Watch and learn step by step, page by page. Join Andres in this coding spree. Serverless magic for all to see. Momentum, topics, and AWS. Together we'll create, no need to stress. Tune in now, don't miss a beat. With Andres here, we can't be beat. Together we'll code, together we'll...
Welcome, everybody, to this week's coding live stream, where I definitely fail publicly, so y'all don't have to. Just recapping a little bit, earlier today we had a great presentation by Richard Davison, the creator of the low latency runtime for Lambda, a lightweight JavaScript runtime that's pretty comparable to Rust as far as performance goes. So make sure to check that out. And next week, again, a packed week. First on Tuesday, we'll have Luca Mezzalera to talk about AWS Lambda performance tuning. And that same day, again, double down Tuesday, we'll have James Eastham with giving our second talk as part of our Gun.io collaboration. And he'll be talking about event-driven systems. Last but not least, for the Friday live stream, I'm going to be taking a break next week, but we'll have a great one with Danielle and Omid. They're going to be trying Cloudflare workers for the first time. Promo materials still to come. You'll get a fun picture, fun video. So yeah, pretty busy week. Next one. I do want... Oh yeah, I'm not going to be able to share the overlay, but we do have Believe in Serverless social media accounts now for X and LinkedIn. It's at Believe in SLS. So don't forget to follow us just to stay up to date with everything. And if you want to keep the conversation going, ask for help, or just hang out, make sure to join our Discord server. Let me share links to all of these. I have them. I'll share them in the chat. See if it goes out. It should be going out there. Ooh, it's shared weirdly. Okay. I also want to share or thank our sponsors, Serverless Guru and Momento, for all their help and helping us keeping this community alive. But now for this Friday fun, I have a special guest today. A surprise guest who will probably be carrying me through this whole live stream so we can actually get some stuff done. We have with us Bruce. No, Matt.
Bruce, aka Matt.
All I know from him is that he loves Nathan for You, and a little birdie told me you love Costco, so I know we can be best friends. Because I too love Costco. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. So I'm Matt, aka Bruce, with 7 U's. I am a founding engineer here at Momento, and I'm here to help out Andre today with the game show we're building. So I'm excited. I don't know too much about it, so we'll struggle with it together.
It's what we do, right? We do everything unprepared and start to figure it out just like anybody would do on their everyday life. So what we're going to be building is, so recently we announced we're going to be doing a game show. It's difficult to say nights because we're all across the globe as far as time zones. So it might be night for me, it might be morning for somebody, but we're going to have a game show day, serverless game show. So we're going to be starting with like a family feud style game show. And that inspired the idea of, hey, why don't we kind of build a little platform, right? And the initial thing is like just getting the buzzers thing, so that, hey, I know the answer, boom, just click it. The host immediately knows who clicked first or pressed first, and go with that. So this first phase, this first step, what I want to try and build is a little UI, and I'm assuming we might not need backend, just because of the nature of how Momento topics work, and that bi-directional communication between client server, server client, client, we can do a lot without even requiring a backend. So I want to explore that route. And then after that, the world is our oyster. So we can start building, if we want, like a leaderboard, just team player tracking and all that stuff. So
Sounds good.
let me share my super technical diagram of what I want to do. Kind of it's not an architecture diagram by no means, but okay, let me get all this set up. Here we go. Okay, I was getting that. So now we can see on the bottom, that's our LinkedIn and X social. So pretty simple flow. We have, imagine each of these boxes is basically a browser, a user. So you have the host, they can see both buzzers. We have player 4 team 1, player team 2. The host enables the buzzers. So you can see now it's not clear. And once they're enabled, the player that clicks first turns green, and that basically is communicating back to the host that something happened. So you can see it's all UI flow at this moment. We can later tie it into, like an actual session, or hey, there's games going on at one time. You want to be able to identify those. Basically, what I would call. So I have a bunch of tabs already open with quick starters and everything. So I want to use Amplify CM2. I know we've spoken about it and worked with it a little bit. We had an early stream with Michael Liendo around that, but now let's try it for ourselves, right? And see what we can get there. Planning to use is it app router? There's the two ways you can run it, but I want server to be able to run server components and see how all that plays out with AWS and Lambda functions and all that fun stuff.
So, sounds great. How are we gonna start the project? Is there like a create Amplify app, or
That's why I have this tab open.
Oh, okay. You're already ahead of me.
Yeah, there's a quick start. I did prepare for like 5 or 10 minutes on this one, so
okay.
At least know. I usually, when I don't know really if I'm going to succeed or not, I try to get at least kind of a starter to see if it will work. I tested this again in those 5-10 minutes of preparation. It does work on my machine.
Works on my box. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, that's how we do it. I usually deliver my box as part of the project. Cool. So I said it's going to, and I was Googling this. I can't remember which one's the new one. It's App Router, I'm assuming. So we're going to do a quick start with App Router, which is a full stack. And you can see this is what I liked. The quick start, I was setting up a repository with SAM and a quick API. I actually had the API already working. So I got this kind of starter template that deploys a REST API with a simple Lambda function that you just trigger an echo, right? So whatever you pass in comes back, right? So hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Bruce.
That's right. You got it.
I got it. I learned fast. So this should work. Yeah, right. So I was setting all this up. Then I was looking at Amplify, and it's like, oh no, they do all that for you. So we're going to use their quick start. And for once, I'm going to follow the document, or try to follow the documentation, because I sometimes miss at this. So
I feel like it's kind of like a recipe, like just mostly follow it, sprinkle in your own things. And
yeah, it's like, oh, I only have half a cup of milk, but I need 1. So what do? Let me melt some butter. I don't know.
Right, right. It says Node 16, but we'll use Node 20. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Cool. So let's just create the repository, right? So they have a template, Amplify Next. We're going to be using Next.js. The owner, I'm going to use and more dev. We'll get the Believe in Serverless org up and running. And let's call this Game Show. Game Show app. Start a template, public. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't want it to be public. I accept pull requests with smarter snippets of code. Cool. So pretty simple. I was looking at this, it's like, okay, I mean, it's a template, right? But while I was going through the instructions, right? So now we go back and, hey, let's deploy the starter template. So what does this do, right? It sends you to the Amplify console. I was already signed in to a specific account for this, right? So just for everybody, so you know how I'm running this. I have a GitHub organization. I have several accounts set up here. I got the null check account, which is the one I'm signed into here, right? So if I create or click this link, this should reload to that one. So we're in our AWS account, and you can just start building, right? So it's coming from GitHub. It allows Bitbucket, code commit, GitLab, or without Git. But I'm a Git lover, so I'll use GitHub, and we already have it there.
Nice, pretty seamless.
And continue. I don't want to hook it up to my org, my work org. And from here, right, I can select from all my repositories that I have access to, right? So here's the Game Show app that I just created. Was it Game Host app? Game Show app. Yeah, because I was playing around. I have that separate repo with the REST API and all that. That's called Game Show Hosting app.
Naming is hard.
Yeah, it's one of the toughest things. So here it identified the branch. It is not a monorepo. It's just the UI. So I'm going to click next. So here are the settings, Next.js. What's the front end command? Since I built this with them, I'm assuming all the defaults will still follow. Advanced, usually I will never change this, but yeah, we're good. So next, and it'll start deployment. Review, everything looks beautiful. And now it's deploying. This might take a few minutes, but this is practically, it was faster. Look at that. Or maybe it's still deploying. But for me, that I'm mostly a back-end developer, yeah, I can consider myself full stack. I can add some divs and make them red and green just to know where they are. But as far as a back-end developer doing front-end, this is as easy as it gets, I think. It's just got everything there. Once it's finished deploying, wonder what's happening here.
So this will just give us like a public endpoint we can go visit, and it'll just be like a welcome to Amplify kind of.
Yeah, so you can see it's full, it's deploying, it's auto build, it's this repository, and here's the domain, right? So we get a non-vanity domain. That's part of the Amplify hosting provides, where you can tie in your own domain, make it pretty, all the redirects. But if I open this, it's not complete, right? So you even get like the middle page where we're not deployed yet. Look at
the error page.
Yeah. So while this is deploying, I wanted to go and set up, as I mentioned, I want to use Memento topics for the communication between the apps, eventually with the server and all that. So let me go to Memento console. Again, I already had an account with this. I've played around with Memento, but we're gonna create. You can see my super clever names. It's called Boop users, but I'm gonna create a special cache for this, right? And maybe I should also go through the Memento because I'm just going through it because I've already done it at some point in my life. So Memento topics, documentation. And feel free to jump in if I go way off track on something.
I think that my immediate thought is, what is the auth story going to be for our topics?
The what?
The auth story. Maybe I'm getting too far ahead.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
But as I mentioned, right, the Memento topics, connectivity, service to service, service to browser, browser to browser, and you can just go all over the place, which is powerful, right? Usually when I use WebSockets, it's from server to browser, and that's about it. This is a lot more flexible into going, I can send an event from one browser to another one without having to go to the backend, which I assume provides more performance. It gets the event quicker because there's no middleman. Well, except Memento, but there's no middleman.
Less for you to worry about.
Yeah. So we will be doing web, right? Yeah, let's do web. Getting started with Memento topics. I always like the getting started. So install the SDK. We'll get into that once we actually have the project in there. But this is the important part, right? Set your API keys. And just want to make sure I don't miss anything. Create a topic client. Because it doesn't say here, but you need to create a cache, right, in order to be able to use a topic.
Yep.
So I think if we go here, you'll know that you need to create that if you go into topics, right? And you want to, this is the testing. But where do you create the topic?
So the topic is kind of like, it's not like it's kind of ephemeral. It's not an item. It lives and dies with, like, if you publish to it, it kind of exists, but there's no entity like there is a cache. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just create a cache, and then you can use that cache to basically publish to any topic name.
Show hosted. Right. US East 1. Hope US East 1 doesn't fail while we're doing this stream.
Perfect.
Just Andres keeps talking. Just looking at the chat a little bit. Andres keeps talking about the server. I'm out. The server side. Andres Boot Moreno. Okay, I guess I have a new a new nickname. Okay, so just want to make sure I keep track of the comments. Maybe somebody's other than Bruce with 7 U's is correcting me. Okay, so I've got the cache. I'm not going to add a cache key. We're not doing any actual caching per se for now, but we're going to go to topics. Yeah, like you said, it's ephemeral. So the topic, you can create a topic, send a message to a topic, but it's not something that will validate, hey, this topic does not exist. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. So game show hosting, and this is where I'm assuming once we have like several games, you would have like a session. So it would be session ID as far as
like game ID, and then you could do like game ID dash user ID, and then you could like kind of handle it that way.
And so the topic, for example, will be enable buzzer, right? So you have game ID with a specific event, or the topic, within the message you can send more context.
Yeah, you could send like with WebSockets, you send like JSON payloads. You could do the same thing. I've seen that pattern. So you could have like game show ID, and then you could send like event type, and then maybe the type is like buzzer, and then the payload is like enable or something like that. And then if you want to send like user specific events, it'd probably be on like a separate topic. So it'd be like game show ID dash user ID or something like that. And then only that user could listen to that. So like maybe you're listening to multiple topics at the same time on, or if you want to keep it simple, you could just publish all to the same topic and then just use like an event, like a JSON structure.
Is there recommended, let me switch this. So is there a recommended way to structure them, or is it the most technical answer? It depends.
I would say it depends because like from a security perspective, what you can do is you can generate an API key that limits your ability to subscribe to only certain topics. So you could generate a key per user, and then that user can only subscribe to like a couple topics. And then that way you can ensure that a user is not listening to other users' events or something like that. But like if we want to just keep it simple, we could like we don't need to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would say like in like a production system, that would probably be the route I would go.
Hey, this is gonna make millions.
Well, ship it to prod, right? Works on my box.
So just to look at the console a little bit, right? So this is where I went to the topics, right? And as it says, you have to select a cache. So I created the cache. I'm in this region in AWS, and I'm just going to subscribe to this topic, right? Do I need to open another, I believe, let me duplicate this tab. In the main page, you can kind of send messages and all that fun stuff.
I thought it was on the same page. If you go back to topics, if you go back to your other tab, I thought that we could publish.
Oh, what did I do? What did I do? I pressed the wrong button.
Oh, yeah. I think if we subscribe again, I think we can publish here.
Game show, test game, subscribe. Maybe it's because I'm Zoom. No.
We should be able to. If you expand one of those, what does it say? Expand? No. Okay, I don't know why. We should be able to publish. I don't know why we can't publish.
Okay. So there should be like a little test hardness
here. Yeah. But
okay.
it's mostly for testing, like just like hey, like looking at it, go like seeing the messages, publish and subscribe.
Cool. So yeah, looking. Obviously, we created the cache, so we can isolate these topics to a specific. Depending on the structure you have, maybe you have a cache for your whole company. Maybe that's not the best structure, but you can start generating topics there. You probably want to spread them out. I don't know what the rate limiting and all that is as far as messaging there, but if you try to do all your topics for your whole company, you're probably going to hit some physical limitation.
Yeah, I think it's 100 TPS per topic, I think, if I remember correctly.
And it is per topic. And is there like a grander limit as far as your account goes?
There are limits. It might be 100 per account. I don't quite remember, but they are adjustable. So like they're not fixed.
Cool.
And like you've limited like 10 caches per account, and then and there's also a limit in terms of like actual bytes sent over the wire. So there's like a couple things going on in there.
Yeah, it's as anything. There has to be limits set in place so you don't break down the system accidentally.
Correct.
Cool. So yeah, let's go generate a Memento key. And it says you'll need a Memento API key. Yeah, I was going to bring this up. There's a good post around the difference between API keys and tokens. We're not going to go through that. Not the purpose of this one yet. But in the Memento console, go super user, fine grain. So yeah, this one I'm not going to read the whole thing, but good documentation around the API keys, which is here. Right? So I'm in US East 1. Custom, this is, again, since I might accidentally expose this during the stream, I like to keep them short. So select the cache, game host, and then it's going to be read write. Yeah, because the host is going to write to it to enable the buzzers and all that. The players are going to write to it because they're going to be pressing the buzzer and sending. So read write. And we'll add this permission. Okay, and then moment of truth, see if it's hidden here or not. Generate API key. It's not. Okay. I knew I was going to expose it. So we got an API key. It will last till tomorrow. So if I do a part 2, everybody remind me if I get 401s, 403s, it's because my key expired. So there's a good question by Benoit. What does a Memento topic resemble the most? SNS, EventBridge, MQQT, something else?
I would say it resembles most like a pub sub system. So probably WebSocket would be like the closest. Yeah. But there are some aspects like you can like attach a webhook to it. So basically, you could, when someone publishes something to a topic, you could then invoke some kind of webhook to do other things. So it's more than a WebSocket. When I think of like SNS or EventBridge, I'm thinking of like directly connecting with like Lambda or something like that, which we don't support. We do have an EventBridge integration, I believe, that we just or is either being released or has been released. So
I think I saw the release for that one
yeah.
this week or last week, so pretty recent.
So
Cool.
yeah, I would say that's how I would.
It's weird because all of these are pub sub, right? But it's just the nature of it. And to me, it does feel more like a WebSocket. But because with WebSockets, you can send from browser to server, right, or to backend. And I've never done WebSockets from browser to browser though, so it's its own little thing.
Yeah. But again, there's a Memento piece behind the scenes you don't see. So like, it is kind of browser to server to browser, but you just see the browser to browser aspect of it.
Yeah, it's abstracted from us, which is why I love managed services. They do it so I don't have to.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so Memento, I think we're all set up as far as Memento goes. We'll keep going through the docs as far as the setup goes on the pub sub. So let me go back into here. So now it's deployed. Our game show app. Here's a little button that says visit deployed. Let me remove this. Here's this. Let me remove this. It's cleaning up a bit. And here it is, right? This is the kind of starter app.
The dummy app.
Yeah, here's the Amplify app domain. App successfully hosted. Try create a new one. So let's create super awesome game show hosting show hosting application. It's our first task, and there it is, right? Cool.
Is this saved in some database, or is this just like a UI item?
I'm assuming, and we can dig into what Amplify template does. I'm assuming it's all. I mean, I can refresh. It's probably not going to be there. Yeah. It is. It is there.
Oh, so
let me try
some kind of purchase.
Let me see if it's. No, it's there. So it's stored somewhere. I don't know where. So we'll get into that. Good question. So back to the docs. I don't want to go. I usually break out of the docs at this point. So it's deployed. You can see like nice little animations. I do really love Amplify's documentation as far as these getting started things, because you get the kind of text, which I rarely read. Then you get this little GIF, right? And I can just try it out.
We all love GIFs. Is it GIF or GIF?
Same question we had last week when we were talking about. I can't remember what the word was. Same, GIF or GIF. I don't know.
GIF is peanut butter. Changed my mind.
Look, we got a good visitor for you, Matt. We got.
Who is that?
You'll never know.
Whoever it is, I love you.
Cool. I love these guests. Last week we had it's a Back to the Future theme. So
Marty McFly.
We had Biff in the in the audience just trying to bully me. I was Marty McFly. There you go. I love you more. Okay, this is fun. Okay, so we got through this and the Amplify console, click there, and let's go to Data Manager. So this is probably where stuff is stored. So hosting, I didn't actually read the location of that. If I only followed the instructions.
If only the GIF was more clear.
Oh, okay, so I click main, I actually go in there. Click main, data, and we should get an item here. Right, yeah, so it's actually storing it in a database, and just because I'm curious and I'm super backend focused, I'm assuming it's going to be, we're going to have something here where this is persisted. Tables.
There it is, to do.
It's one of these. Remember, I deployed the test app first. So, explore items. All my defaults are not here. So this is hello world. So it's this one.
Oh.
Create super. Okay, so just remember, it's the first one. Let me go back to the Amplify console.
Just remember that UUID 6MGRTH.
The whole thing, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten into the habit of not naming my resources. I've been doing a lot of ephemeral sandboxes in serverless. That my personal recommendation, and I think a few other people would agree with me, once you stop naming your resources and go with the defaults generated from AWS, a lot less friction if you're deploying multiple ephemeral sandboxes like an API with a database table and all that. You reduce collisions. If not, you have to inject like a suffix or a prefix into every resource, and you have to remember that and all that.
Interesting. But for like production, you would name it.
Yeah, this is just for sandboxes or development environments, right? So I get my development environment, you get your own. We deploy to the same account, right? I'm more in favor of cloud development versus local. So I'm not afraid of seeing those names because I usually access these resources from CloudFormation. And I'll show you. This is just a little bit of introduction into my life of how I operate in these things. So in this case, it's going to be the latest one, right? So it's a nested stack. Let's not do nested stacks. So here it is, right? I wouldn't have this, but here's this Amplify app. Maybe being able to name this is more than enough, but then I have the resources. And I can see, ooh, these are grouped now. This is new for me. But you can see there's a Lambda function already. It's doing all the Amplify. This has all the Amplify infrastructure to connect things. But we should see a table. I would hope so. I don't see it. So maybe it's not deployed via this and more so directly integrated to Dynamo. We can look at this in a bit.
It could just be creating the table behind the scenes, like
that's
with CloudFormation.
And again, this is because I operate starting from the other side and not from the front end view of things. So that's why things might not connect immediately as far as me assuming what it is. Like the table is there. How it got there, I don't know yet. I think grouping is a CDK thing. Okay, so Benoit. This is what I lose for using SAM. It's a CDK thing, so I don't get these nice groupings in SAM. Okay, now I might turn off my camera a little bit. Try. Okay, so back to the docs. Okay, so we saw that. We saw the table with our tasks. Now let's make front-end updates. So set up local. Click on your deployed branch and you'll land on the deployments page. It'll show the build history. At the bottom of the page, you will see a tab for deploy backend resources. Okay, so we're already here. Deployments, history, deployed backend resource. Okay, so the same stuff, the same thing I just saw in CloudFormation. So let's see if we see a table here. So you can see there's a user pool that we didn't have, I believe, in CloudFormation. User pool.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So this consolidates basically the resources that it created. You know, see, there's like a state machine, the Lambda function.
Oh, that's probably to actually deploy the code. I would
So
guess.
let's DynamoDB. So here's, oh, it's a custom. I don't even know what this means, but it sounds interesting.
I think it's a custom CloudFormation resource.
Interesting that it's not using like a CDK or the standard resource. So now let me look for that here. No, I've never done custom resources, so I don't know how they work. But I'll try to stop pairing it back to this.
If you look at that first one, the very first resource, what is that? Custom Amplify. I'm guessing that might have something to do with it. I don't know.
And maybe it's different because it's a sandbox, right? It's not like, well, it's doing main, so this is like the real thing. So I'll
Black magic.
Yeah, I'll ask around, and if I figure it out, I'll let everybody know because this is interesting. Okay, backend resources still following this. It has a big box. Download, amplify, outputs. So let's do that. Amplify, and I'm going to close CloudFormation so I stop feeling the need to compare things and the resources. And we'll just leverage the tooling we have from Amplify to manage the resources. So download this. It'll go into my downloads, and we'll see what we have to do next. Now move the Amplify. Okay, so I need to clone. This is why I kept this open. Gameshow app. I'm going to copy to clipboard. And this is, we have a live share session. So Bruce should be here. 7 U's. There you are. You created a file? What'd you do?
I'm in the wrong file.
Oh, you're here. You're in JS. Okay.
Oh.
So in here, I'm going to open up a terminal. And I will. And everybody has to make a comment. Yes, I'm using Windows. It's PowerShell.
I want to be clear. I'm using a Mac.
Okay, yeah, you're cool. So it's I need my password. Super secret passphrase. So we got everything in here, right? So now let me open my downloads over here and back to the docs. I know I'm flipping the screen too much. If you're getting busy, please let me know, and I can try and switch less. So we're cd, we need to run npm install as always. So cd gameshow app npm install. We'll get that rolling. I need to change something. This is because I have, where's backend? I got a weird setup, but we use a private registry that I have set globally for my machine, so I have to set this npmrc so it doesn't try to install to through our private npm registry.
I didn't know you could set it per repo. That's kind of cool because we have a similar problem, and I'm just like always removing it and re-adding it, and it's kind of annoying. So that's very useful to know.
Yeah. Once I started to do a lot of like personal projects and then just trying to deploy these via GitHub Actions without hooking up to our private repo, npm repo, I discovered this, right? So you can put it at any level you want, and it will be hierarchical. So I'm doing npm install. At this level, I wanted to take this one instead of the global, and this one will win. So I'm just setting npm.js.
That is a great tip. I'm going to, right after this call, I'm going to fix some repos with this.
And if you look, all my repositories for articles and stuff that I do have that npmrc right there. Sometimes I ignore it, sometimes I don't. So I'm in a mix right now, but because right now I can go and just git ignore, right? So, oh, where did this go? And nobody mentioned that I was in miniature mode. Okay. But yeah, I can ignore this. So I don't mess up anybody if I'm doing this for myself, right? Okay, so npm installing. It's installing a bunch of stuff. This is probably too big. There we go.
Installing all of the packages.
I didn't see Jonathan. Don't forget to mute too, so we can't hear you crying. Yeah, I've got a weird crying squeal. So okay, let's see. What else can we talk about while this installs?
I'm looking through all the files because I'm not super familiar
Okay.
with the Amplify layout.
Me neither. So that's cool. So have you found anything interesting? I can try and follow you. Focus on participants.
Well, I guess app looks like the front end. Auth.
Yes, we got the layout, app, the page TSX, so that's where we'll build it out. We got public. This is probably pictures. Yes. Amplify YAML. This is, I guess, what it uses to know how to build. Yeah, this is what I was looking at, and I'll just go over a little bit of what I saw. They have this AmpX kind of command line tool, right? This is the Amplify command line tool, but you can do everything yourself, right, from the terminal. If you want to deploy yourself, you would do this. Am I back?
Oh, you are back. I wasn't sure if it was me or you.
Probably.
npm took down Andre's computer.
Yeah, what the hell? At least this time I was able to get back on pretty quickly. I thought my internet would have been dead or something. So
my Via's Coda, so I think I need to rejoin the session.
Okay, I'll reshare in our super secret private chat. Okay, so be careful while live streaming and npm installing Amplify. No, that's probably me, not related to Amplify. It's missing all the caches with Lodash. I might kill this and retry it because I think my internet might have had a hiccup. See. There we go.
All right, I'm gonna rejoin now.
Yeah.
Okay, I should be back.
I was actually crying for a little bit. That's why I had to take myself completely out of the stream. Okay. So let's keep navigating while this keeps doing its stuff. So we got the build, we got the backend phases, build commands. Just doing a bunch of stuff. We were looking, yeah, this is doing a lot of stuff. Where were you? Let me see if I can follow you. Maybe that's what broke my machine. When have you joined yet?
I am trying to rejoin. It says, let's see if I can. Joining collaboration session. It says live share host is currently offline. So I'm not able to rejoin.
Did I send a second link? Yeah, I sent.
Yeah, that's the one I'm using.
It looks like it's the same. Let me stop collaboration session. I'll start a new one.
Okay.
Let's see if I can start a new one. What happened? I'll navigate over here. There's a chat. Just curiosity here.
A lot
Yeah.
of stuff in VS Code. A lot of features.
Let's wait for
Okay. I think NPM took out Andres again. We love JavaScript here. Or maybe he's just crying again.
I don't know what's happening. This is really concerning in regards to my machine. But let's get this back and rolling. I'll try not to do anything with the live share anymore. Let's try and keep that to a minimal. Let me see. I got no mod. It's still going here. So let's just hope for the best. But I want to try and navigate this a bit more. So there's not much. I wonder, trying to figure out where it's storing everything. So generate client, use state to do, list to dos. Okay. So we should have, I'm trying to find where kind of all the, oh, here it is, data, right? So resource TS, this has the schemas. And unfortunately, we don't have the recording for when we tried this with Michael Leando. We were live streaming noobs at that point, and even worse than right now, we were streaming through Discord with OBS and blah, blah. Both Alan and my machines just died. So we don't have a good recording of that. But the way you kind of define the schemas and how it ties it back to GraphQL and AppSync, it's this way. So we got the backend here. So if we look at backend, we have a way to define all the pieces you're going to include, and we would add more things in here. Don't want to install. Now it failed.
I wonder if it's like a circular dependency or something.
Because the package JSON is at this level. I got the package lock. I'm going to try one more time.
If you open the package lock, let's just make sure it is pointing to the public registry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That looks good. Okay.
So we'll try one more time. If I go and cry again, I'll be right back. Just to get a successful npm install. Okay. So Amplify data, tsconfig, it's got its own thing, package, backend, and now we have define the backend. Data comes from data resource. This is what's weird. It's referencing JS when it's TS. I don't know if it takes care of stuff for us.
Yeah, I think it's probably like a dist folder or something it builds into and that does it that way. It's a little weird though. Or maybe it could also build it in the same, sometimes you build it in the same directory. So there'd be like a resource.ts and then underneath it'll be like a resource.d.ts and a resource.js file.
Yeah. So here it's kind of adding all the relationships, right? And it's still in the Amplify world and their documentation. This section below creates a to-do database table with a content field. Try adding an is done field, right? So it has a content field that's a string. And let's just follow the instructions, right? And just is done field, and A seems to be a backend thing, and we'll do I'm just going to assume at this point because I'm not getting autocomplete. But we got Boolean.
Do you know
I
if
guess
is
because
this coming
it's
from
not
that
finishes
Dynamo?
calling.
Do you know if this is coming from the Dynamo table? Like content is stored in the Dynamo table and then is done is stored in the Dynamo table?
It should be. So I'm going to go back. Yeah, I'm sharing my whole screen. So here's content.
Content.
It has metadata around it, right? So it abstracts ID, created by, updated at, or created at, and here's content, right? So if we go here and actually add the Boolean, below specify that any user authenticated via an API key can create, read, update, right? So this is the allow here. And there's multiple ways.
NPM, no. The demo gods have been out there today. Been pretty active.
Oh, I'm back. I am truly confused at what's happening.
I feel like we can blame NPM. I really do. I feel like it's
Yeah.
always NPM's fault.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep closing stuff. But
Oh, you know what we can blame? Maybe it's Windows.
it's probably running. I do have like a ton of running npm, and again, it's still going. Okay. So I wonder if any thing will work, but that's how we do it.
We push through.
We'll push through. Yeah. Okay, so we're back here, still going through the npm install. It's probably gonna. It's like my connection isn't dying, but maybe my kids are kind of unplugging the router or something.
This is a pet peeve of mine with loading bars. It looks like that loading bar is almost done, but is it really almost done? I don't know.
I never trust it. Okay, let's keep walking through and see if this works. Cruddle.
Looks like you have
I like that.
autocomplete now.
I do? Okay, so let's make sure. Yeah.
It looks like it.
Well,
right?
dot
There you go.
boolean. Thank you. There you go.
Oh, it's
we
done.
We only have one high severity. That's how we roll. This is where Dependabot comes in handy because I'm going to deploy this. I'm going to have my Dependabot config, and it'll take care of it for me. Okay, so let's keep following this, and then we'll actually go and set up a client on the UI. I usually, yeah, this is fun. Cruddle. Request your table. This snippet will only work in the front-end code file using JavaScript, Next.js, server control, middleware, server actions, or page router review how to generate data clients for the use. So we'll go through that. Okay, so this is the code that we can create to use a client, right? So if we create a component, this is what we would use. And I'm assuming the Memento, I'm blanking out, the SDK for web, we can use it on the client side. API keys. Yeah, I think the API key has a way.
Well, we could do. There's a couple ways you could do it. You could, the way that we kind of recommend people do it, we call it like a token vending machine. Basically, like you would build an endpoint that would vend, and this is kind of where we get to like the scope down token. So you can vend a token that is specific to a topic, so like a user. So you can vend like a user token.
Yeah, and this is because you get a refresh token and those things,
Yeah.
so you can keep it going.
So I just realized you if you scroll up a little bit, I think we need to zero permission type cache, I think we need a topic. So if you, topic,
Oh.
and then you can enter a topic name. So you can also do this through the SDK. And so this is where you would actually say, hey, this user can talk to topic, and you can do some fancy things. So you can say, hey, this user is allowed to publish to this topic, but only subscribe to this topic. And maybe there's like a read write topic. Like
and I can see that's where the SDK is powerful, because when we get to a backend and we create a game with teams, and you create like the buzzer, you could create 2 buzzers, right? And those can be separate topics that the host is subscribed to and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah. And the other thing you can do is you can attach, I forget what it's called, but it's like token metadata or something like that. But basically you can like attach a UUID to the token, and then when you like publish into the topic, that ID will get passed along, and like you can't like fudge that ID. So you can like ensure that this is the person that sent this message. So you can do validation that way as well.
And is that auth up to us, or is there a way to include that part of the auth with Memento, right? I got that user ID, I'm subscribed here. So you can generate a token. So basically with this token vending machine concept, you could call an endpoint, you'd be off to some user, and then on the back end we can say, okay, hey, this is the user, let's basically bake their user ID into this token, and then when they publish to this message, we can kind of get the user ID from the token, which again, it can't be fudged. And then we can do it that way. So that's probably that would probably be the way I would do it, if we want to. And that would just be easier to do like within the SDK itself, just like on the back end. I'm not like super familiar with Next.js. I know like there's like server components, so we can probably do something cool with server components. That's what I'm thinking, and I know I've browsed through the Memento repos, and I know there's a Next.js app that does like the auth with server components, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you can definitely reference stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So quick question here, right? I created this permission for all topics with pub sub. Did it generate a new token?
You have to click generate. I don't know if you click generate, but if you click generate, it will generate a new token.
Okay, so this one doesn't have this embedded.
Correct. You have to generate it again.
Okay, so regenerate, got new token. Okay. Whew, a lot of plumbing here, but very interesting stuff. So I want to go back here, right? So git clone, we finally got the npm install. So amplify source, let me push the output file that I got in my downloads. So it's amplify app, and it's going to be at that level. Let me push it here. And we got amplify outputs, amplify outputs. It's in line with package JSON. Yeah. Okay. And implement delete functionality. Go to the app page TSX, and this is us also getting familiar with Next.js, right?
Yep.
So we go to the app page TSX. Where did this go? And cool, we can just copy stuff. So app before the return. Keep going to the wrong. So before the return, I'm going to paste this. It already had a space here. Clients model to do delete ID.
Does that to do like get generated somehow? Like,
yeah, what's happening here, right? It's Amplify's looking at this data resource, and at some point I want to actually apply this is done to Amplify, but we'll get to that point in the docs, I think. But yeah, this client models to do, that's one of the cool things. And I'll see if I remember. And Michael, if you're here and the audience, there was an amplify command where you can do like describe blah, and it'll just automatically sync to the cloud with the schema. So then we could use the is done automatically. You can see how here we're generating a client for this, and this client will have the updated schemas for us. So there's a way to kind of magically update that schema for you. You can see here in the resources, it's pulling the actual schema from at amplify data resource schema, right? So it's pulling this thing. This is the export with the client. So a lot of things happening there for us, but just to know that by adding this here, it would automatically be in the schema, and I can use it with my GraphQL interactions for it.
I see.
So let me go back.
A lot of black magic going on here.
Yeah, and I mean, there's two sides of the coin, right? It's with all this black magic, or just magic. It's good magic.
Yeah.
You can't. It takes a while to. It's a good starter, but then you actually have to dig in, right?
Yeah.
But what I get from Gen 2 Amplify, it's easy to get in there and modify it in a cleaner manner than what you could do with V1, right? So they did do a lot of improvements as far as the developer experience goes for this. Where was I? Okay, delete to do. And keep asking questions, and I'll try to answer them. And
I'm learning with you.
Yeah, this is what's awesome. So UL, right? This is our unordered list. So we're gonna add inside this bracket, right? This is kind of the injector or interpolator, whatever you want to call it, and next, where we can just inject JavaScript, right? So it's mapping, and here we got the li item. Where's my li item? So within that, yeah. So here's let me just to structure it a little bit. We've got the ID, just so it's easily visible, and we're pasting the onClick event. And it's not liking this.
Where is delete to do defined?
Delete to do is here. Where did I add that? In the data. No, I'm lost. Backend. No. Might have defined it in the wrong. So page TSX, it's here.
Oh, okay.
Delete to do, just like we're referencing this one. But void is not assignable to React Node.
I think. The onClick on line 45 in the middle, you have the caret. You need to put
everything inside. Look at that.
Here, no, the content needs to go out. So if you add the content between those two lines,
yeah, I see. So this is not the content.
Yeah, exactly.
It's here.
Yes.
Good eye. Oof, I would have missed that completely. We would spend the rest hour just doing that. Okay. Content temp. Try out our npm run dev. Seems. Oh, now I'm worried. Might go cry again.
We're no longer installing though, so I think it should be fine. Hopefully.
And I closed a lot of things. I'll keep closing. Next.js. Okay, it's ready on localhost 3000. Compiling. Okay. Okay. So now if I click this, it goes away. If I go back, this is actually connecting to AWS? Yeah, it's gone. So if I create a new one, hello, brew 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hello, Bruce. We will get an item here. Okay, so you're actually syncing back. The backend is talking to the real backend. It's not running any sort of containers or anything locally, which I love. It's, as I mentioned, like to do cloud development in the cloud and not local. So delete, the click just deletes it. Cool. So I don't know if I want to do login yet. I want to push this, make backend updates. Let's update our backend to implement per user. No. Deploy to cloud. This is the
Oh, MPX AMPX sandbox. Interesting.
I'm not sure. Let's see what this does. So because maybe all I have to do is push this code to the repo, to main, and it'll build, right? So you want to try that?
I say go for it.
Okay. Add is done. Add is done and add delete. Let's keep those commit messages clean, people. And kill this, git push. Pushing straight to prod. That's how we roll.
Only way to do it.
Hope your boss is not on the call, right? Watching you on the stream.
So I'm sorry, I rigorously integration and unit test everything.
So, okay, automatically, I didn't refresh or anything. It's going there, it's deploying.
I wonder how long it takes.
Yeah, that's a good question. So we do have the deployment history, and I'm assuming I can see the runtime. So build 6 minutes. Ooh,
I guess that kind of makes sense because it did take a while to npm install on your computer.
Yeah, so it might not just be me, and it just might be a global thing.
Yes, npm was just down.
Yeah, let's just say that npm. We should have used yarn or whatever other people use. Okay. While we do this, I'm going to have to run an npm install. But
just for one thing, hopefully.
It's this, right? So we want the web. We're going to do it here. So let's start getting that rolling. So npm install add go memento / SDK web. So you gotta say, yeah, we do performance checks and everything, and it's super lightweight. There you go.
There we go.
And we'll say the severity was pre-existing because of Amplify, all those things. Cool. So yeah, we've installed Go Memento SDK and all that. And this is where we can, once this deployment finishes, we can probably switch, and we'll just do a very basic, just do 2 UIs right now communicating, right? So we'll have a button and a light, and whoever presses the button turns on for both, right? That's kind of creating the start for the communication we want. Then we can start getting into the more complex things. This is what I usually do when I look at the time. It's like, oh, okay.
For sure.
So, and I'm going to go to the Memento GitHub, HQ GitHub. And I do know you have, well, I don't know if you specifically, but your company has a good example. Terraform. And if somebody in the chat remembers a name, or you.
Are you looking for like JavaScript examples?
The web example.
Yeah, I think if you go to the JavaScript repo, the first one.
This one?
Yeah, and then there's an examples directory.
So smart.
And then there's web.
Next.js chat. This is the one.
Yep.
Or Vite chat. No.
But yeah. You can do Next.js chat. It's probably better, honestly, because we're going to be using. So like if you go to app, yeah.
This is API. This is kind of the little backend. So this is the Memento.
So this is like the token vending machine, and then the chat room is. So in this app we actually use both the web client and the SDK client.
Because you have a backend.
Yeah.
You have a backend here.
Yes.
So yeah, and these are all things I read about when I started looking at Next.js, and I have now forgotten what they mean. But this is kind of parameterizing the path and all that.
Yeah, Next.js is like very heavily opinionated about. Like, I don't know if Amplify. I don't know how opinionated Amplify is and how like what they've taken from Next and what like if there's anything special. But I guess we can figure it out as we go.
For sure. For sure. Deployed. So this one, well, this is deployment 1. Deployment 2. Still going. Still going. Okay.
4 minutes. Yeah, it'll take probably 6 minutes again.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I would actually be curious to look at what packages are in the cookie cutter Amplify project we use, because I have a feeling that we don't need a ton of them, but I don't know.
It seems pretty basic.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess yeah. It looked like from the npm install there was about 100 packages, but
And
it
I
could
think
also
it's
be that
mostly related to the maybe peer dependencies and stuff from
Yeah.
the Amplify one.
yeah.
The outputs, yeah. So we got user pool client, all that fun stuff that it generated for us. We've got a GraphQL endpoint, cool. Introspection, we got this stuff. Okay. Deployment, 5 minutes. So we should be close. The build's done. So now it's actually doing the deployment. So going and we're done. Let's see if it did our stuff. Back here. No, that's not a back button. Main. No, game show app. View deploy. So let's just make sure that made it through. We create new. Hello. And we click it. It deletes it.
Oh,
Woohoo!
nice.
This is a great app.
We're done.
Yeah, okay, so thank you everybody. This was been real.
Shippity prod.
Okay. I'm at that tab level. Topics, get started, Memento, Web's SDK. Oh, look, it actually references what I was trying to look at. Deep link.
Look
So-
who committed to there. Bruce. I wonder who that guy is.
Oh, who could it be? That's funny. Woohoo! Okay. So this is where you are probably more familiar, maybe, since you committed to this repo and you've done it. Nice. So I'm a copy paste kind of guy, so I'm gonna see what you've done here, or
Copy
what
pasta
you
away.
and your team. So pages, we got the chat room, right? So I'm gonna look at, you've got React, and here are your inputs, right?
Oh. So on that, the first line, use client. That's a next thing. I think that tells next that like this is client side.
This is because you can do use server, and
Yeah.
if we go, I don't think you had other pages, but these, I guess these, just because they're in the API folder, are natively backend.
on the server. Yeah. Again, it's
But, yeah.
heavily opinionated.
Yeah, but here we could have a page that's server side,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
we just do use server.
And I think you can even do, I'm not, don't quote me on this, but I think you could do like a block that's use server. So like inside the block, you can, and you can like access server side environment variables and stuff in that block that just don't get exposed to the client side. There's a lot of magical things you can do.
But starting here, so right below the to-do, no, we're doing imports. So here, I'm going to import these things.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Right,
you don't have that utils folder.
Oh,
So that was yeah.
Taking my copying to the next level. So this is on source utils, Memento Web TS. And I'm going to put it there, and then was it an app?
It was in, source.
Which is my root.
Yeah, I don't think it matters necessarily you put it. You can put it anywhere you want. And just reference it.
Let's do utils Memento Web TS, new file. Memento Web TS, and boom, kaboom.
Boom. Okay. And then let's just make sure we're referencing that Unknown word. Okay.
Yeah, this is, since I
Yeah.
use this to write, but let's make it
I see.
a
And then you can see on
three-step.
like line 16, we have a type chat message event. So that's kind of what I was talking about, where your event can be a message, your event could be a, in this case, user joined, your event could be buzzer, whatever you
Yeah,
want it to be.
get new web clients for username. Okay, let's go back to our page. Utils at, where's my utils? I know it's not gonna like this, but
I think a dot dot. Is that right? There we go. Boom.
okay.
Double dot.
So yeah, that's why I was gonna ask. This type chat event and all that's coming from the utils, right? So you're
Yeah.
basically just doing a topic item
Mm-hmm.
and a topic subscribe, a subscription. So this is represent the data received from a topic subscription. So this is just like a basic structure where you get like a detail, kind of like an event bridge message where you got detailed type and stuff like that. It's a structured.
Wait, if you click into that, yeah, so that value, so the token ID was what I was talking about, is you can, when you generate the token, you can basically generate a token ID a lot, like for that specific token. And then as you parse and receive, you can actually like validate the token ID and see who the user came from. The value is just either a string or bytes. And then that value could be in the example, the Next.js chat example I did, that value is a stringify JSON. So then you can, it's a stringify JSON, so then you can parse the JSON and then you can use the fields however you want.
However you
So
need. Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Okay, so did the import, and now it's where we start cherry picking. So app, pages, chat room, and I will have, well, it is chat room, but the important stuff is set chats, on air, on send message, and this is using all the utils. Hours, minutes. Is this running anywhere?
It might be, if you go to just the Next.js chat folder and you go to the README.
Deployed it there? Look at that.
I think.
Just
Yeah,
wanted to
there you
see
go.
what it's doing. Okay, so this is obviously test
Yeah,
topics.
yeah. I think this is my
And
account, and you can
then
join any chat room.
dev, boom.
Username, you can just put, yeah.
Add more dev, and then hello. Okay.
I think I deployed this a while ago. I think I deployed it with an API key that has since expired, which is why this is you're not seeing your chat. But I should have probably published it with a key that doesn't expire. But
I mean,
the more you know.
It's safe. It's safe. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's see. I'm gonna create a button and a div that colors up, right? So we can get rid, should I get rid of the whole to-do stuff? I guess we have source control.
Yeah, I think nuke it.
So here's main. And then this goes away. This goes away. And this is gonna be set buzzer or whatever. Untrue. Well, this is where I suck at Next and React and all that stuff right now. So list to dos, we don't need anything. And we're gonna have a button that says enable buzzer, right? For example. And then we'll have a div with a style equals no color. Is it background color or color?
I think you want background color.
Back. Come on, back.
Background.
I'm trying to get IntelliSense, but it's not. Red. Style. Type
Oh,
string.
it might have to be an object.
Wait, what? I'm confused. Wait, no, this has to be in quotes. Does it?
I think if you do style as object.
Okay, I'll trust you. So style equals something like this?
Yeah, and then do another and then yeah, like
Oh, look
that.
at that. Look at that. So then it's background.
I think you gotta do one more set of objects because it's like template formatting. Background. Yeah, there you go. Background color.
No, not clip. Color. I really need to get into the front end game. Okay. And let's add some text. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It doesn't like that. My text npm run dev.
Do you know if this is like hot reloads?
If I'm running dev, I do think it should do that. So let me go back in here. No, in here. In the pages, I want to see how to, okay, first we need to subscribe to the topic, right? So this is receiving on error, unsubscribe, send message, enter clicked. No, use effect, subscribe to topic. Can these be awaited or does it have to be this way?
So that is just in a use effect. I don't know if you can have an async use effect, which is why it's .then.catch, but yes, they can be awaited. I think just where that is. I don't know if React supports async use effects. I think that's where there's some fancy next things you can do, which would make it cleaner, but that is why it's like that. But yes, you can await.
Okay, and this use effect, okay, here I have it. So I'll just replace it. And then cache name, again, we all usually start with hard-coded. So cache name, gameshow host dash hosting, gameshow dash hosting. Is that it? Gameshow dash hosting. Topic name, let's do test game ID, username. We don't, oh, because this subscribe to top, this subscribe to topic is very specific to that.
Yeah, because in the chat example, right, you have like a user, so you have to know who is sending the message and who, yeah.
So here we can just do this. This is await, no, this is awaiting the subscribe to topic. Subscribe to topic here. So we'll just do these two. Well, we'll remove username. On item, we don't want this. Because I could do this inline, right? This get web talk.
Yeah.
Web client. Where's it defining the web client? And I know I'm all over the place, but web client equals undefined. Topic client.
I think that was just there so we don't have the web client, like we don't want to define the web client in the component, if you know what I mean, because then we don't want, like when we re-render, we don't want like a new web client. We want to use the same one.
Yeah, it's the smart way. But keeping a simple, I mean, it would be create this topic client if we wanted to do this. Import configurations, that's part of the SDK. Credential providers, this. I'll remember to hardcode this. So now, and I'm not really familiar with the life cycle. The use effect is, does this run on initialization?
So when the use effect takes two parameters, one is a function, which is that first parameter, and then the second parameter is a list of arguments to determine when to rerun that first function call. And so when you pass in an empty function, empty array like that, that means basically run once on load. So on page load, that will run once. So what this is saying is when you load the page, you will then subscribe to the topic. And then it was sending a user joined event. We could send like a different event, like game show participant joined, right? So maybe there's a host and then maybe there's participants, and so depending on which page is loaded, we can say who joined.
Yeah, this doesn't look right. I went with what Copilot recommended.
Oh,
so topic client, we got the topic client. This is the web client, and then web client. It's getting the web client, subscribe. This is what I want. So this will subscribe, and I don't have a cache name. Again, we'll do game show, and I don't like double quotes. Sorry about that. Game show hosting. Game show hosting. Topic name, game ID, test game ID. And then these are, well,
those are just callbacks. So basically, like when you receive a message, what do you want to do with the event? So in this case, in the chat case, right, it was like, okay, basically append the message to the chat. In this case, we might want when is this the game show host joins, or is this like a participant joins?
This is anyone right now. We'll split it later once we just get. I want to get just a quick communication.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so in that case, maybe we can just we can even just like console log a message like, hey, someone joined.
Yeah. So on item, and this is specific. The on item, that's okay. So here, I'll do this console log on item.
And that on line 37, that function takes in a parameter, so you can, which is the item.
Oh.
So you can actually log the item.
Let's do that. Thank you, Copilot. And I have an extra something. Okay, so it's just there. There we go. And then on error, I'm assuming you get an error object.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to scream when I error. And this
scream case is the only case.
So yeah, I will follow you here. So the actual subscription was happening here. So topic subscribe. Oh, this is me. Here. Subscribe to top. This is what I wanted. So then, right?
Yep.
I need a dot.
Yeah.
Dot.
And then you can just we can delete line 46 because we're not dealing with that right now.
Successfully subscribed. So this is just, hey, we subscribed. We got an error subscribing.
Yeah.
We are still subscribed and got an item, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then to send a message, I got something wrong here.
You have two of those guys.
That shouldn't make it fail though.
Use line 48 and 49 look identical. I wonder if we don't need both of those lines.
That's true. Alt Shift F.
Boom. Oh, what happened now?
No, I was trying to format it. Okay, there it is.
Ooh.
So we're subscribed. Let's see if we can go back to the console. See if we can. It would be convenient to send messages through the console. Game show test. I'm still screaming. Test game ID.
Mm-hmm. If we now publish to that topic, I wonder if it should show here.
Let me see. I just refresh. That's my reset kind of thing. Game test game ID, subscribe. Okay.
Wait, if you hit subscribe again on the right, no. Okay, I'm not sure, but
It's trying. It's trying. I think it's just not doing it. Something for another day.
I can try on my end quick too.
But if not, we can add a quick button to send a message, right? So let me go back to page TSX. Where's my HTML? Here. So
Well, I want you to know it works on my box.
Can you send it to me? Can you send it to me real quick?
Yeah, let me try US East. Maybe East 1 is having some issue. No, I'm still able to subscribe to East 1.
It could be me. It's probably me. It's always me. I'm trying to see.
I can send a screenshot of what it looks like if you want, or I can send you a token. You can use my token, and then I can see the messages on my end.
Nah, let's just do the button here, right?
Okay.
So I was just trying to get the diff of what we deleted to get the button binding.
Okay.
Right, so it's here, and we'll just do on click. That's kind of how it was. And I need to close. No. I think I need to wrap this like this. Go back. Go back. Where's my buttons? So I had button on. Let me just do this. Now I'm copying back what I deleted. Enable buzzer, right? And then this is going to be enable buzzer. And then the function was up here, with just like this. And we're not going to use the our models or anything yet. Oh, I keep. This is just, again, what I wanted to do, just the UIs talking, no backend. So I'll add this function, boom, which we call enable buzzer. It doesn't take anything. And this will do the Momento client topic client dot publish. Let's see, buzz. Object little may only be.
I think yeah. So that publish takes a string. So that's where you would stringify that message.
Oh, I'm still screaming. Caps lock. JSON stringify.
Yeah,
boom.
Exactly.
Oh, stop it. And here.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think this was live reloading because it's still. Yeah.
And then the other thing I would do is line like 45, I think, or maybe even line 26.
26 here.
So I would move that out of the component, just so we're not recreating the topic client every re-render, if that makes sense.
Again, that's the smart way to do things. And I mean, I already exposed this, and I'm going to kill this token as I usually. Oh, I can't see it anymore. Good safe procedures here. So I'll create a new one that expires tomorrow from a topic from the game show. All topics. You should probably not do this in real life. Remember, principle of least privilege, always, if possible.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yes. Generate API Copy. Yeah, definitely don't hard code tokens and in your code. Okay, so that's saved. I'm gonna npm. It's not liking this, but I'm not using this, so.
Oh, I think because we got rid of the username, right? It's not happy about the username.
Yeah, I guess I can. Oh, let's not go that far. Okay, so let's wait for that file to save. npm run dev. See what happens.
All hail the npm gods. Okay.
Okay, localhost. Hell Hydra.
Don't curse the npm gods.
I guess it's compiling and.
Oh, look at that. Look at our
That's what I
background.
told you. All I can do is divs with colors to make sure they're showing. So okay,
I love the black text on the red background. That is my like staple.
So it's Spider-Man and stuff like that. Okay, enable buzzer. We published an
So
event.
we published a message. Nice. And we go to console.
Console. Let's see what we published. That's the options. So let's just do XHR. Payload. Okay, this is kind of very, very abstracted for me.
Yeah, that's base 60. I think base 64 encoded. We used gRPC on our backend.
Okay.
So, and I think the first like 6 bytes are not legible. So I'm not sure. I mean, you can try this, but I don't. If you decode.
Oh, I'm in encode. No, I don't want to re-encode.
De-encode.
Decode.
Yeah, so the first 6 bytes. Yeah. Buzz player ID player 1. Yep. So that is our message. I actually wonder if in the console you just sign out and re-sign in and try to resubscribe. Maybe it will work because I was working on my when I tried. I'm not exactly sure why.
So here you say sign out.
Yeah, top right. You log out.
Log out.
And then maybe log back in. And maybe it should just work.
I'm doing. Oh, look at this 1Password. Thank you.
I do love me some 1Password.
It's like, oh, did I use GitHub or did I use Google?
Although I'm actually curious, Apple releasing their new password manager, so I don't know. So yeah, let's try and subscribe. East 1.
Boop. No, game show. Test game ID. Subscribe.
No, it doesn't. It looks like the request. I don't know why it's failing, but
yeah,
we'll figure it out on the front end.
I know I've had issues early on when I tried Memento using the token. It was getting blocked.
Oh.
And I do think it's because of my security. So some sort of that transaction happening there might not be working, which is unfortunate because this.
So so we're subscribed, we're published. So let's go back to the UI. Let's try and let's see if we can like see something. So this was a publish. I don't see the subscribe.
And we had a console log right there.
Yeah. But if you go to the network tab, I don't see a subscribe, right? So if we just refresh.
Oh, there. Oh, I killed it.
There it is. All right, so pending.
And it might be the same situation as what's happening from the console.
Yeah, maybe. Because this does look like it's just pending. But I tried East 1. East 1 seemed to be working for me.
I think it's a me problem with the transactions that are happening. So let's see. What can I do? What can we do? What can we do?
I can give you a key. It might be easiest.
Yeah, we could try with your key, and if it fails, it's me.
All right.
If I can push this, and we can have you share your screen and try it from your machine.
All right. What is the cache name? Game show host
dash test. gameshow-hosting, yeah.
Hosting. Okay, and the east one, game show hosting. And then I'm going to make an API key.
Wait, how does it know which cache it? Oh, this is what it's telling it. Ugh, dummy.
Publish, subscribe, add permission, generate API key. Okay, I'm going to send you in our super secret private chat.
Okay. Delete, and I'll go back. Nobody saw it. Nobody saw a complete thing. Okay, so this is live reloading.
All right. And what is the topic you're publishing to?
It's called Test Game ID.
Test game ID. Okay. Test game ID.
So let me refresh
Yep.
here.
I am subscribed. It's like into an abyss or something.
Yeah. But yeah, you can see it's me. It's not you, it's me. But let me try this, and I'm not going to push your API key. I'm going to do my API key because, you know,
Okay.
we're friends at this point. And I'm going to push this.
Okay.
Add memento sub pub sub. Commit. I'll open a new one of these. So it deploys. We can chit chat while it deploys.
Only real friends push each other's API keys. That is a great quote.
Am I not in the correct spot? Where am I? LS. Get. Game. There we go. Get. Push. Oh, no. CD. Okay. I'm all over the place now. Push. I was almost going to say my password, and that would be problematic. Okay. So back to Amplify. Oh man, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to wait to keep playing around with this for until my next live stream. So if I do anything, I'll keep everybody posted. The GitHub repo is public, so anybody can keep playing around with this, and you'll have a fake, or not a fake, but my API key.
I was going to say the GitHub repo is public, the API key is public. Do as we say, not as we do.
And can I revoke API keys? So can I go back?
That is a feature we're working on. We can't actually revoke yet, but it's scoped down enough where like they can't do anything with the API. They can publish, but
Again, I'm on the free tier, so no credit card, no anything. So
yeah. And they can't
have
like
at it.
create if you
Kick
had
me
a
down.
super user key. If they had a super user key, they could do like they could create caches, delete cache. They can't do any of that. They can just publish and subscribe. So maybe it might be fun for you people listening and watching to interact with the top. You know, they could listen to the topic.
Yeah. Okay. I'm living my worst nightmare. But yeah, that's the beauty of credit cardless free tiers. Is like when I'm doing these, like when we were doing Neon Postgres database and all those, it's like, I mean, you can try and hit it and just bring me down. It's gonna cut the live stream short though. So okay. This build takes a while, and I'm wondering all that it's doing.
I
Because
blame NPM.
It should be keeping an NPM cache. I would hope that comes with the default.
It might be doing. I don't know if you're familiar with like NPM install versus NPM like CI. Yeah, so it might maybe it's doing like a fresh install every time. I don't know, but I'm with you. It should cache things.
It says oh, this is pretty small for everyone to see. So it is saying NPM CI.
Oh, okay, and it's passing to cache.
So yeah, interesting. I'll think about that one a little bit more. Come Come on, deployments. This is what happens for not actually. Well, I can't. I was running locally, but I will figure it out. I might sync up with you later, maybe next week. See if we can track that one down.
Yeah,
If
for
anybody's
sure.
interested, if people are interested, because I am very curious.
I have never used Amplify. I have used Vercel, which they make like their make next, and that's how they kind of got founded.
Yeah.
Their build's very, very quick. But again, I've never used Amplify. I'm not super familiar with it.
And I'm talking more around the fact that I can't subscribe.
Oh yeah. I
Um,
don't know. I don't know. That's weird for sure.
yeah. So, but I remember early on I sent Alan a message like, "Hey, I'm playing around with Memento and can't really
Subscribe.
do it." Yeah, and it's like, do it differently. It's like, okay, but it's I think it's something related to my machine because I know I've tried it somewhere else and I can't. I have interacted with that subscribe publish, but maybe pinning down
It
the
almost
why.
looks like it's blocked or something. Because
Yeah.
it looks like it's like sending it into like some abyss, you know.
Yeah, I might try this from my phone and see if it works later today. I'll let everybody
But
know.
no, that's a good data point for us, honestly.
Yeah, just knowing if is it
Yeah,
actually this machine.
yeah.
It's like, okay, maybe I can send you some logs or something. I was happy to give feedback or send feedback or give more information around something that didn't work for me. Because I might be a one-off scenario. You might not even want to fix it for me because I'm a one-off scenario.
Well, we will
And I
fix it for
understand,
you.
and I completely understand. Like, oh, it's just Andres. It's fine. Nobody's brought this up. He can deal with it. He can deal with it. We're almost there. I'm just scrolling. We're 4 minutes in.
4 minutes in the 5-minute deploy.
Yeah.
So you
But yeah.
you could assign if you wanted to. You could assign like a custom domain, right? To
In Amplify, yeah. So let's look at that, right? And going more into the Amplify, right? So people confuse Amplify as one single thing, right? It's multiple things. And again, I don't work for Amplify, and I might lie at some point in this phrase. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But you got the Amplify CLI, right? The tooling, developer experience kind of things, all this templating stuff that we have. You've got Amplify UI, which is a set of components you can consume on your UI for like the login screens, got like style sheets and all that stuff, right? Pre-configured for you. Then there's Amplify hosting, which is its own thing, which is what you see here, right? You get this, you can configure custom domains. And that's what I'm using for my personal blog site. And if we have time, I can jump into that account where I have all that. But you got like custom stuff for this, for your hosting. So rewrites and redirects, how you want to handle preview, right? I have my personal blog site set up to, this is Gen 1. I don't know how much it changes as far as the hosting part. I don't think the hosting part changed that much. But I have it where if I create a PR, it's going to automatically create a preview and have a URL for me, right? And I can click it, navigate it, and it's all nice, all pretty. But again, kind of more environmental things that you have here as far as the hosting, notifications. But
so with Amplify, like if you create like a custom domain, and if you go to like Route 53, does it then show up? And this is kind of just like an abstraction on top of like kind of the internal services, if you know what I mean.
And I did my personal site a few years ago, so I don't exactly remember, but I believe with Route 53, it interconnects things automatically for you.
Okay.
Where if it's in Google domains or something like that, you have to go add your CNAME, your
RIP
alias.
Google domains, by the way. RIP.
Yeah, that's true. It's Rackspace now. Who bought them? Who bought that part?
I don't remember. I had my domain in Google domains. I had to switch it to Namecheap, which I was not happy about. I loved Google domains. You know, another product that they had to kill.
Killed by Google, right? It's the okay. So it's deployed. Let's see if and you try and go. I'll send this URL.
Yeah.
I'll just send it. I'll send it private.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
And
I will inspect. I see my name. I'm gonna look at my network. All right, I see. Headers. Publish succeeded for me. Subscribe still looks like it's hanging for me.
could it be my account then? My Memento account?
I don't know. Let me see. I'm looking. Copy as curl.
If you want to share your screen, I can put it.
Yeah, I can share my screen. I'm just trying to debug what's going on. It looks like it is like, how do I share my screen?
On the bottom, you should see a share screen thing.
Present. Let me just make sure everything is closed. Everything is closed.
All the super secret stuff you're doing at Memento.
All the super secret stuff I'm doing. Okay. Present, share screen, screen 2. Okay. There we go. And then I'm gonna bring this over here. Oh, now you can see it. Oh. We're so yeah, I'm not sure what is going on here. I can show you what.
And zoom in a little bit.
Oh. Is that good?
Yeah.
So if we say, I'm in West 2, but I'm gonna go to game show hosting, what was it? Test
game ID.
Subscribe. So I'm subscribed here.
Yeah, I've seen this page.
Yeah. So this is what it should look like. And then here we have the publishes. So if I publish here my message, I publish, this panel is actually subscribed. So this is actually going to Memento backend and then subscribing here in the front end. But I don't know what's going on with your account. It seems to be specifically actually your account. So subscribe, it's just aborting. This domain looks correct. Let's see when if I inspect here my network and I reload, I wonder, let's just make sure the domain looks correct. It's all zoomed in here, but it's okay. East 1, game show hosting, test game ID, and I subscribe. Oh no, I guess this is. Oh, I guess this is what it's supposed to be doing.
So it's staying open, right?
It's just open. Yeah. So now we just have to publish to it. So if we add do we have a console log then?
We did.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. On item, we did it.
Okay, zoom in there. Blind.
I don't know if I can. Can I zoom in here?
It zooms in both when you do Control Plus, I think. It is not zooming in both. Do Control scroll in that window. Not in the terminal and the actual logs. So put your mouse a little bit up there. Scroll. Control scroll.
No.
Okay. But logs are showing, and if I can read correctly, it says on item. We did it. And the object that we're sending. I
can post this in our little chat. Oh, there we go.
Whoa. Trippy, dude. Chat. That's the main comments chat. So if you go to private chat, you don't want to do that.
Whoa, but chatception. But yeah, we're seeing a lot. Okay. There's some confusion, but we see it. Perfect.
Yeah, so the subscribe is actually not going to terminate. Why? Because
It's like an open
you,
WebSocket connection.
yeah, it's an open connection. So that makes sense. So I
Yes.
kind of feel like I am
I don't know what's happening in your console yet, because you should see something like this screen with like, hello.
yeah, so I think it's all related to something that's wrong with me. And that's usually what I hear. My wife tell me, my friends. Okay, let me go off camera again. But cool. So kind of got to my goal. But we learned so much, right? So
Yes,
I wanna
yes.
recap kind of, and I'm gonna take your screen off.
Okay.
And I want to recap what we got, Bruce. And first, I need to watch Nathan for you just to be on the same page, and we can be
We'll be
we
best
can be
friends. Yeah.
BFFs. Yeah.
Yes.
Just for everybody, today's the first day I meet Matt.
Yes. Yeah.
But so it's a mix of things we're learning. At least I'm learning. But it's Amplify, Next.js, and just basic coding for everyone. But we got a UI set up with Amplify, right? We
Publishes and subscribes to topics.
publish and subscribe to topics. We kind of navigating how Amplify is doing the resources, how SCDK has this nice grouping stuff in CloudFormation, but kind of about looking at the abstraction Amplify gives us. We didn't get too much into the actual using the database and all that, right? We just saw it, the basic to-do app. But I didn't want to get to that. I wanted to pub sub using Memento. So I guess this is a good test, Matt, just to wrap it up, right? Could you get two browsers side by side on the same screen? And you can see the console log on the one you're not pressing the button, right? Which is essentially what I wanted. It's host presses a button and the participants see it.
Boom! I can. If you want me to share my screen again.
Yeah, let's try that. Okay, yeah, you completely unshared. So if you can present again.
Share my screen. Share screen. Screen 2. Allow.
And add to stage.
Screenception. There we go. So this is the two separate windows. And I know you guys can't really see the console log that much, but if I'm pressing this, which is publishing a bunch here, we see a bunch of items here.
Yeah. So clear this log console, just so they know we're not lying.
Oh.
No, there's a big there's an X button somewhere. No, not that one.
Filter out. Oh, maybe don't persist logs. Maybe if I just refresh. There we go. So nothing here.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, and we got them, right? So we got browser-to-browser communication using Memento topics.
I'll just do it once, so it's not like. There we go. One. I had clicked a bunch of times, which is why I showed a bunch.
Cool. Which is one of the cool things, right? And it's that
it's clear.
Getting rid of the having us to maintain this connection and have it go through our API or whatnot to send a message from browser to browser, right? Maybe you do have async processing, but someone keeps doing stuff on a UI and you want to update that UI for another user that's already there. Mm-hmm. You can do that without having to go to the back end because things are happening and you can communicate them.
Another thing that I had briefly mentioned, you could do webhooks. So you can say, okay, when this event gets published, actually invoke this other HTTP endpoint that you have and then do things like async processing. Or
again, removing a little bit of the management that you would need to do and just, hey, trigger this.
Yep.
And you already automatically handle some back-end processing that you need to do based on an event. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool for like, I'm trying to think. No, words, I blanked out. This is too much for me.
We had a demo for that, a similar thing, but like for like real-time translation. So you could basically publish a message. We had an API listening in the back end that would take that message, use Amazon Translate, and translate it to like N different languages, and then each language had its own topic. So then if you wanted to listen to like the Spanish translation, you could listen to that Spanish topic. So that's like one use case.
Yeah. Cool. So this was fun. I'm definitely going to keep playing around with this as well, not as always, because I haven't done this before, but the GitHub repository is there with the code. It's public.
And the key.
And even the API keys are public. So you can try it out. And I'll share the application's URL. I mean, it's not the prettiest application. I do intend to play around with this a little bit more.
Nathan, for me, I have no idea who you are, but you are my favorite.
Yeah, I removed it. It was already there. Yeah, it's a great job. Thank you, Nathan.
For me.
Nathan, for me. So just as a reminder, busy week next week for Believe in Serverless. So Tuesday, we have a double presentations. We got Luca with performance stuff for Lambda. Then we got James Easton with event-driven architectures. And on Friday, we'll have another live stream. It's not going to be a part 2 of this yet. So I might play around with this on my own time and keep that repository updated. And I'll keep everybody posted. Thank you, Bruce, with 7 U's. This has been awesome. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, I had a blast. It was fun. Nice meeting you too. We met like 10 minutes before this.
Cool. Well, thank you, everybody, and talk to y'all later.